Hello and welcome to part 3 of the chapter Probability. In the previous part, we have discussed about the axiomatic definition of probability and its application. In this part, we shall discuss about the conditional probability and Bayes theorem and its application. First, we define the conditional probability. Let there are two events A and B, and we assume the occurrence of the event A on the hypothesis that the event B has already happened. This is denoted by A/B. This is called the occurrence of the event A on the condition that the event B has already happened. Similarly, we shall denote the conditional event B/A by the occurrence of the event B with the assumption that the event A has already happened. Next, we shall find these conditional probabilities. Let us consider two events A and B which are not mutually exclusive. So AB part is non-null. Now we shall find the probability of the conditional event A/B. So in this case the event B has already happened. So we have to find the probability that the occurrence of the event A on the assumption that the event B has already happened. So the event B has already happened. That means we have this event B. Out of this B, the proportion of the event A is nothing but this part, AB part. So the probability of A/B, this is equal to probability of this part out of the probability of B. So this should be equal to probability of AB divided by probability of B. Next, if we consider probability of B/A, that means the event A has already happened. So this part A, this event A has already happened, out of which we have to find the probability of the occurrence of the event B. Now the event A has already happened, out of which the probability of the occurrence of the event B is nothing but this part, AB part. So this is fraction of PAB divided by probability of A. Now these two are called conditional probabilities. Now from these two equations we can find that probability of AB can be written as probability of A/B multiplied by probability of B, and from this equation we can write probability of AB, that is equal to probability of B/A multiplied by probability of A. So we can write that probability of AB, alternatively we can write probability of BA. So probability of AB or BA, that is equal to probability of A/B multiplied by probability of B, which is equal to probability of B/A multiplied by probability of A. So this is a very important deduction. Next we shall define the independent events. Suppose there are two events A and B which are called independent if occurrence of one event is not dependent on the occurrence of others. Now if A and B are independent, then probability of A/B, this is the occurrence of the event A with the assumption that the event B has already happened. So if these two are independent, so this is nothing but P of A, because in this case the occurrence of the event A is not dependent on the occurrence of the event B. So P of A/B equal to P of A. Similarly, if these two events are independent, then probability of B/A, this should be equal to probability of B, because this is occurrence of the event B with the assumption that the event A has already happened, and this is probability of B, so occurrence of the event B. So if B and A are independent, then occurrence of B is not dependent on the occurrence of the event A. So now from this equation we find that probability of A/B, This is probability of AB divided by probability of B. So if we replace probability of A slash B in this equation, we shall find that from here we find that probability of AB is equal to probability of A multiplied by probability of B. Similarly, if we replace probability of B slash A from this equation, we can find this same equation, probability of AB equal to probability of A multiplied by probability of B. So two events A and B are said to be independent if probability of AB is equal to probability of A multiplied by probability of B. Next, we shall define pairwise independent and mutually independent events. So if there are two events A and B, then pairwise independent and mutually independent have the same meanings. But now we consider more than two events. Let us consider these three events A, B and C. These three events are pairwise independent if these are independent taking two events at a time. That means these three events are pairwise independent if A and B are independent, as well as B and C are independent, and A and C are independent. So we can write here these three events A, B and C, these are pairwise independent if these three events satisfy these three equations. That means these events are independent taking two events at a time. Now we consider mutually independent events. Now these three events are mutually independent if they are independent taking any number of events from these events. So these three events are mutually independent if they are pairwise independent, plus if these three events are independent taking three events at a time. So it should be P of A, B, C, that is equal to P of A multiplied by P of B multiplied by P of C. So now if these three events satisfy all these four conditions, then the events are mutually independent. So there is a slight difference between pairwise independent and mutually independent. Pairwise independent means the events are independent taking two events at a time. But the events are mutually independent if these are independent taking any number of events at a time. So if the events are mutually independent, then these are automatically pairwise independent. But the converse is not true. Next, we shall prove Bayes' theorem on conditional probability. So it is a very important theorem. First, we write the statement here. So it is given that let A1, A2 up to AN be n number of mutually exclusive and exhaustive events. Also let B be any other event which is non-null connected to AI. So it is given that A1, A2, AN, these are mutually exclusive as well as exhaustive events, and B is any other non-null event. So you have to prove this equation. Now we start the proof. So it is given that A1, A2, AN, these are mutually exclusive and exhaustive events. So if these events are exhaustive, then sum of these events is equal to S. So we write here, since the events are exhaustive, so sum of these events is equal to S. Now we shall multiply this equation by the event B. Next we multiply this equation by the event B, and by the distribution law this is equal to A1B plus A2B up to ANB, and SB is equal to B. Now we shall take the probability on the both sides. So here we have taken the probability on the both sides. Now we wish to apply the third axiom of the probability. That means to apply the third axiom of probability, first of all we have to prove that the events A1B, A2B, these are mutually exclusive. Now it is given that A1, A2, these are mutually exclusive. But we have to prove that A1B, A2B, these are mutually exclusive. To prove that the events A1B, A2B, these are mutually exclusive, we take any two events, suppose AIB and AJB. So intersection of these two events is equal to AIB, AJB. Now BAJ can be written as AJB. So now AI and AJ, these two events are mutually exclusive, that is given in the statement. So AI, AJ, this should be equal to phi. So phi B is equal to phi. So intersection of AIB and AJB is equal to phi. So these two events are mutually exclusive. So these two events are any two arbitrary events among these n events. So therefore we can conclude that these n events are mutually exclusive. So we can use the third axiom of probability. So here we have applied the third axiom of probability. So probability of this equal to probability of A1B plus probability of A2B plus probability of ANB. So this can be written as summation, that is over j from 1 to n on P of AJB. Now using conditional probability, we can write that probability of AJB is equal to probability of AJ multiplied by probability of B slash AJ. So this summation is equal to probability of B. So we can write here this summation is nothing but probability of B. Next we have to find probability of AI slash B. Now we have to find probability of AI slash B, this conditional probability. Now this can be written as probability of AIB divided by probability of B. Now by using conditional probability again, we shall use this one is equal to probability of AI multiplied by probability of B slash probability of AI divided by probability of B. So this can be written as I have discussed earlier, that probability of AIB can be written as probability of AI multiplied by probability of B slash AI. So here we have probability of AI slash B is equal to probability of AI multiplied by probability of B slash AI divided by probability of B, and we have already proved that this is equal to j from 1 to n probability of AJ multiplied by probability of B slash AJ. So this is the required equation. So that completes the proof of the Bayes theorem. We shall complete this part by considering an application of the Bayes theorem. Consider an example. So it is given that suppose there is a chance for a newly constructed house to collapse whether the design is faulty or not. The chance that the design is faulty is 10%. The chance that the house collapses if the design is faulty is 95%, and otherwise it is 45%. It is seen that a house collapsed. What is the probability that it is due to faulty design? So it is given that the chance that the design is faulty is 10%. So there is 90% chance that the design is not faulty. And it is given that the chance that the house collapses if the design is faulty is 95%. So if the design is faulty, so there is 95% chance that the house collapses. And if the design is not faulty, then there is only 45% chance that the house collapses. So first we write the events. We consider these three events. We denote the event A1 as the design is faulty, and we denote the event A2, that is the design is not faulty. Alternatively, we can denote this event by A1 complement. Here we have denoted it by A2, and the event B denotes the house collapses. So now from the given conditions we write the probabilities. Now from the given condition, probability of A1, that is the probability of a faulty design, it is given that 10%, so it is 1 by 10. The probability that the design is not faulty is remaining 90%, so it is probability of A2 equal to 9 by 10. And now this one, probability that the house collapses if the design is faulty, that is 95%, so 95 by 100, that is 19 by 20. And finally the probability that the house collapses but the design is not faulty, that is 45%. So it is 45 by 100, that is 9 by 20. Now it is clear that the events A1 and A2, these two are mutually exclusive and exhaustive, because the design is either faulty or not faulty. So these two are actually complement to each other. So therefore the events A1 and A2 are mutually exclusive as well as exhaustive, and the event B is non-null event. So we can use the Bayes theorem on conditional probability. Now it is given that the house has collapsed, and we have to find what is the probability that it is due to faulty design. So here we have to find the probability of faulty design, that is A1, on the assumption that the house has collapsed. That means the event B has already happened. By Bayes theorem we can write that this is equal to probability of A1 multiplied by probability of B slash A1 divided by this sum. Now we can easily replace all these values from the given data. So we have replaced these values, which is equal to 19 by 100, that is equal to 0.19. So there is 19% chance that it is due to faulty design. So that completes the solution. With this we complete this part. See you in the next part of this chapter, probability. So until then, thanks for watching.